Paramakaguna Paudujana Nihagava Chandra Sabhavatara Savashivamani Kavala Ananda Kanda Paja Paja Pai Sachamanitai Vijitapi Satavahui Vishoya Sadiya Saiva Saivapiya Mukhe Polo Hari Hari Seto Ovipai Kupavananai Evamoto Yalakata Pashi Pashi Dore Pashana Dore Shurika Tuna Sasava Bhavya Hiri Bhavya Sasvahe Mahilapata Apana Kalama Pajaya Samana Prabhu Devashis and Lord Gaurachandra are the two most merciful lords. They are the crest jewels of all incarnations and the only source of transcendental joy, ecstatic joy. Oh brother, I implore you to worship Sri Chaitanya and Nitai with firm faith. Give up your attachment to sense gratification and merge into this nectar by chanting the names of Hari. Look, O brother, there are no benefactors in the three worlds who are as merciful as them. Even birds and animals are fulfilled and stones melt by hearing the glories of their qualities. Absorbed in the cycle of birth and death, having fallen by the wayside without any hope for achieving their company, the Lord of Death will come and take you and come and make you suffer for the load of your activities. So things is not Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Hare, 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 Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama Rama, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama Rama, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama Rama, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Namashreshtam manumapi sachiputram atra swarupam rupam tasya grajam uruparim maturim gostavatim radhakundam girivaram aho radhika madhavasam prapto yasya pratita kripaya shri gurum tam natosmi Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Brinda. So we're reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Sanatan Shiksha, which is Madhya Lila chapters 20, 21, 22, 20 to 24. We're on chapter 23. And yesterday, which was not broadcast due to a camera issue, we covered some Gita verses that are quoted by Gauranga Mahaprabhu to Rupa Goswami about the equipoised nature of a Vaishnava, balanced, equipoised, free from desires. Yo na hrisyati na dveshti na sochati na kanksati subha subha parityagi bhaktiman yase me priya. One who neither rejoices nor hates, laments nor desires, renounces auspicious and unauspicious things, and who is devoted to me is very dear to me. One who has no friends, enemies, equipoised in honor, or one who is equal to friends and enemies. Balanced in honor and dishonor, heat and cold, happiness and distress, fame and infamy, who's always free from contamination, grave, satisfied with anything, doesn't care for any residence, and who is fixed in devotional service is very dear to me. So Mahaprabhu is explaining to Rupa Goswami these traits of a devotee, which are anathema to someone who is attached to particular material conditions. They have likes and dislikes. They're subject to the influences of their environment, greatly subject to it. It determines whether they are happy or unhappy, deeming themselves successful or the opposite. Whereas a devotee, being somewhat transcendental to the fluctuations of the environment because they're in touch with a place of steadiness. Krishna consciousness is not subject to the triguna fluctuations of the three modes of material nature. Jai Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Jai. So the vicissitudes and fluctuations of material life do not affect a devotee, or at least they shouldn't. Or perhaps we could say they affect a devotee to a lesser degree, if we want to be pragmatic. But actually a real devotee situated in consciousness of the divine, what we call Krishna consciousness, is not affected by the dualities that are constantly being produced in this world. Constant duality, constant flux. People to find happiness are looking for steadiness, looking for some kind of continuous flow of happiness, looking for a place where their dreams will be fulfilled. Their life will come to a place of satisfaction, fulfillment. There'll be a sense of well-being. And that will be continuous and growing. This is the hope. And it's forever on the horizon. That's the nature of Maya, the predominant, or the Shakti, the energy that of which this world is formed. Always on the horizon, but always just out of reach, like a mirage. But unfortunately, that place of well-being can never be achieved because everything is constantly in a state of flux, constantly changing, can never be grasped. So the devotee is above all of this, what we might call actual madness, like a wild goose chase, chasing, but it can never be grasped, it can never be achieved. Something that's constantly changing can never steadily produce the same thing, because it's changing. So the environment is constantly changing. It can never steadily produce happiness. It's impossible. The environment, the substance of the environment is incapable of generating happiness for the Atma, for consciousness. So the devotee, coming to this point of recognition that the environment does not intrinsically possess the ability to offer happiness, satisfaction, they rise above it. They connect themselves with a steady flow of bhakti, connection to Krishna, Krishna's realm. And they rise above the dualities. And when one is properly connected to the spiritual current, then they're not envious. As it says here, one who is not envious but who is a friend to all living entities, who does not think of himself as a proprietor, which means as a possessor or an owner, who is free from ego, equal in happiness and distress, forgiving, self-control. He is not disturbed by so-called difficulties. He is liberated from jubilation, anger, fear. All of these emotions which characterize someone who's intertwined with the constant flux of the environment, the constant change. So they're constantly changing, sometimes happy, sometimes sad, sometimes celebrating, sometimes mourning, sometimes envious, sometimes flattering others, sometimes depressed, sometimes excited, sometimes hateful, sometimes feeling cold, sometimes surrounded by enemies, sometimes friends. An endless list of dualities, and the devotee is above that. So the first effect of Krishna consciousness, as given in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, is that one finds peace. Because one puts themselves in a condition, in a circumstance, which separates them from this endless fluctuation. So they find some peace. They're no longer subject to this endless stream of fluctuating variety, which has the appearance of offering some satisfaction down the line, but never delivers on its promise. So peace is the first effect of bhakti, as given in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and then there's a gradation of the effects. Anyway, so Mahaprabhu is describing all of this to Sanatana Goswami, how a devotee, and these are verses, he's quoting verses from the Gita, how a devotee is unaffected above these dualities. And then text 115. Text 115. Tabe sanatana sabha siddhanta puchila Bhagavata Siddhanta Guddha Sakali Kahila. Thus, Sanatana Goswami inquired from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu about all the conclusive statements concerning devotional service. And the Lord very vividly explained all the confidential meanings of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Harivamsi kahiyache goloke nityastiti Indra asi karila yabe Shri Krishneri stuti. In the revealed scripture Harivamsa, there is a description of Goloka Vrindavan, the planet where Lord Krishna eternally resides. This information was given by King Indra when he surrendered to Krishna and offered prayers after Krishna had raised Govardhan Hill. Mosalalila Ara Krishna Antardana Keshavatara Arayata Virodha Vakyana Mahishi Harana Adi Sabamaya Maya Vyakya Sikaila Yaiche Sushidantahaya. Illusory stories opposed to the conclusions of Krishna consciousness concern the destruction of the Yadu dynasty, Krishna's disappearance. The story that Krishna and Balaram arise from a black hair and a white hair of Kiradakshai Vishnu, and the story about the kidnapping of the queens. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained to Sanatana Goswami the proper conclusions of these stories. Tabe Sanatana Prabhuda Charane Dariya Nevedana Kare Dante Trinaguchalana. Sanatana Goswami then humbly accepted his position as lower than a piece of straw, and symbolically holding some straw in his mouth, he fell down, clasped the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and submitted the following petition. Nicha jate nicha seve muni supamara Siddhanta Sikaila Ye Brahmara Agochara. Sanatana Goswami said, "My dear Lord, I am a very low-born person. Indeed, I am a servant to low-born people. Therefore, I am very, very downtrodden. Nonetheless, you have taught me conclusions unknown to even Lord Brahma. Tumiye kahila e siddhantam rita sindhu Moramana chunite nade ihara ekabindu. The conclusions that you have told me are the ocean of the ambrosia of truth. My mind is unable to approach even a drop of that ocean. Pangu nachaite yadi haya tomaramana varadeha moramate dariya charana. If you want to make a lame man like me dance, kindly bestow your transcendental blessings by keeping your lotus feet on my head. Muniye sikalun tore sfuruka sakala e tomara vara haite habe morabala. Now, will you please tell me, let whatever I have instructed all be fully manifest unto you. By benedicting me in this way, you will give me strength to describe all this." So we have here, towards the end of the general section of Sanatana Shiksha, Sanatana Goswami, having received this information, this theology, philosophy of Krishna Tattva from Mahaprabhu, is asking him for something non-rational, we can say. He's received the rational information. Now he's asking him for mercy. It's non-rational. Say it's not theological information, philosophical, it can be documented, written down, reproduced. He's asking him for the transmission of spiritual mercy. He's saying, please empower me. Give me your grace, your kripa. Showing that real shiksha, this is known as section of Chaitanya Charitamrita, is the Sanatana Shiksha. So the point here is that real shiksha, from which is the substance of the guru-disciple relationship. Anyone can get initiated, but which is known as diksha. That can be done by anyone, but that doesn't necessarily mean that there will be a spiritual transformation. If there is shiksha, the instruction, the spirit of the spiritual master is embodied, accepted by the disciple, then that is shiksha. And then they actually become a real disciple. Then there's a proper link, a living link, not just a formality. So that shiksha, as we can see here in the previous chapters, Mahaprabhu has been revealing to Sanatana Goswami all of the theology and philosophy. And after all of this has been done, Rupa Goswami bows down to Mahaprabhu in humility, clutching straws between his teeth, and asks, please, now you empower me. Now give me your mercy. You've given me this information, but what use will it be? How will I make something of it unless you give me your mercy? So he's saying as much as saying, in effect, saying this, that, okay, I've received all of this, but I need your mercy too. It needs to be infused with your mercy. Let it be manifest. He's saying to Mahaprabhu, tell me this. He's saying, please tell me. I want you to say, let whatever I have instructed be fully manifest unto you. Rupa Goswami wants Mahaprabhu to tell those words to him. By giving me this benediction, you will give me the strength, bala, spiritual strength. It's not physical strength, spiritual strength to understand and reproduce all of this, to describe all of this, which is the purpose of Mahaprabhu's instruction to Sanatana Goswami, so that it can be bestowed to Sanatana Goswami, and then he can then in turn distribute it to others. If you want to make a lame man like me dance, kindly bestow your transcendental blessings. Vara. Benedict me, bless me. He's saying, please bless me, give me your grace. Tabe Mahaprabhu Tanra Siridari Kare Varadila E Sabasfuruka Tomare. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then placed his hand on Sanatana Goswami's head and benedicted him, saying, let all these instructions be manifest in you, be manifest to you. Svuruka. Sankshepe kahilun prema prayojana samvada vistare kahana nayaya prabhura prasada. Thus I have briefly described as a discussion of the ultimate goal of life, love of Godhead. The mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu cannot be described expansively. So Mahaprabhu blesses Sanatana Goswami that he may have the strength, that they may be manifest. What does this mean? That they may become living, they may come alive. These instructions may be infused with living potency. That they're not just, it's not just information, dry information. It's not just academic. Anyone can study the Sanatana Shiksha and the Rupa Shiksha, analyze it academically, write about it, dissect it, but it doesn't mean it's having any purificatory effect in their lives. It's not changing their consciousness. It's not even giving them so much inspiration. Definitely no inspiration beyond the academic level, and even on that academic intellectual level. What is it? It's the example is given of the analysis of a jar of honey. You take it to the laboratory, you put it in the analysis in the machine or in a petri dish, and you analyze it. You put it through various tests and processes. Look at it under the microscope. You find out exactly all of the constituents of honey, right? Such and such amount of sucrose, such an amount of fructose, such a percentage of water, percentage of pollen, and percentage of beeswax, whatever else might be in honey. And then you can write a list of ingredients. Academically, you know exactly what's in that honey. But you haven't tasted the honey. How much pleasure have you got? You've got a little pleasure. But compared to the pleasure that honey can offer, you've got nothing. Compared to what honey is really for, the sweetness of the honey, perhaps even the health benefits of the honey, you've got nothing of that. All you've got is theory. So it's the same with spiritual information, is that it can be analyzed intellectually, can be appreciated academically to an extent, but that extent is minuscule compared to the extent of happiness, inherent potential happiness and satisfaction inherent in those spiritual talks. And that, in order for that means when that spiritual content, information becomes manifest in a person's life, that's when it is living its true purpose. That's what it's there for. It's like honey. When the honey is tasted, honey is not designed to be taken to a lab and analyzed. Honey is designed to be tasted. So the spiritual information is there to manifest in our hearts, to become alive. So we see here at the very end of these 5 chapters, though this is chapter 4, but these kind of at the end of the general section of Sanatana Shiksha, Sanatana Goswami is going, now please make this manifest, you bless me. And Mahaprabhu puts his hand on his head and goes, yes, I bless you, let it be manifest in you. So for proper Shiksha transmission between Guru and disciple, as we see here, is necessary for the blessings and the goodwill of the Guru. Otherwise we have a situation a bit like Ekalavya of the Mahabharata, where anyone can claim to be a disciple, but unless they're inviting the blessings of the Guru, then it may not, probably not, will not manifest in their lives. So we can all take heed of Sanatana Goswami's approach, putting straws in his teeth, bowing down. Clasping the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Please, expressing his humility, I'm a low-born person. Nonetheless, you've taught me this philosophy. Siddhanta Sikaila. You've given me this Siddhanta. Siddhanta means philosophical fact. We could say conclusions on spiritual philosophy, tattva, Siddhanta. He says, Siddhantamrita Sindhu, this information is like an ocean of nectar. But my mind is unable to approach even a drop of it. Moda mana chunete nare ihara eka bindu. My mind can't even taste a drop. So, what's the solution? Given my incapability, he describes himself like a lame man, given my incapability to taste even a drop of this Siddhantamrita, nectarian philosophy, please, I need your blessings. Give me your blessings. And he even instructs Mahaprabhu, as we covered, tell me that what have I instructed unto you, let it be manifest. And Mahaprabhu does that, places hand, let it be manifest. So, and that is the end of the general section of Sanatana Shiksha, this specific. Anyway, we'll get to that in a second. We'll finish this chapter. Thus, I have briefly described a discussion of the ultimate goal of life, love of Godhead. The mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu cannot be described expansively. Why? Because it's too large, it's unlimited to be described exhaustively. Prabhuda upadeshamrita suniye jana achirat milai tanre Krishna prema dana. Whoever hears these instructions given to Sanatana Goswami by the Lord comes very soon to realize love of God, Krishna. Sri Rupa Raghunatha Pare Yara Asha Chaitanya Charitamrita Kahe Krishna Dasa. Praying at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Sri Raghunath, always desiring their mercy, I, Krishnadas, narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, following in their footsteps. So the next verse, chapter 24 of Madhya Lila, is the 61 explanations of the Atmaram verse. The most quoted, most discussed verse in the whole of the Chaitanya Charitamrita is the Atmaram verse. And it goes, Atmaramas Chamunayo Nigrantap Yurukrame Korya Dahoitaki Bhaktim Itambuta Guno Hare. Koryad ahaitakim bhaktim itambuta guno hare. Even those that are self-satisfied, atmarama, they don't desire anything because they've achieved a state of atmagyan, which is self-realization. They're in touch with the plane of Sat, Chit, Anand. They don't desire anything of the material environment. And we can say, in a sense, they're equipoised. They've achieved the condition as given in those Gita slokas that we're talking about a few pages back, a few verses back. They're not affected by the dualities, the ups and downs, incessant ups and downs that are part and parcel of this world, intrinsic to this world. They're beyond that. They're at a plane of transcendental level, transcendental plane, self-satisfied, atmaram, peaceful. Even those people are still attracted. Their equilibrium is rattled, shaken by the leela of Bhagavan's pastimes. Urukrame, wonderful pastimes, spectacular pastimes. Nitambuta guno hare. The qualities of Krishna, his pastimes, his form. They're all attractive even to those people that feel that they've gone beyond material attraction and found a stable place, an eternal flow, which is self-satisfying, absolute fulfillment. There's no room for anything else. They've reached the goal. Even those people who think there's no room for anything else, they're attracted by the qualities of Krishna, his pastimes, his form, his name, etc. All of those have the ability, when a person thinks they've realized God, it's almost like going beyond God. Anyway, it's going on from Brahman realization. Essentially, this is what it is. It's going from Brahman realization to Bhagavan. It's going from a state of being transcendental to the material environment but in a passive way, to actively, positively engage in dynamic interplay, service, bhakti with God, with Krishna. And it is descriptive of the inherent supremacy of bhakti over anything else, everything else, even that which is deemed transcendental to the mundane, even that which is deemed spiritual perfection. Bhakti comes and takes those people a step further. The Atmarams. So it's even attractive to those people that have seemingly achieved perfection. Perfect means that it's perfect. It can't be made more perfect, right? But it can in this case. So the 61 explanations of the Atmaram verse. This verse first appears in Madhya Lila, early in the Madhya Lila, when Mahaprabhu arrives at Jagannath Puri and meets Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and he explains this verse. Bhattacharya quotes this verse, gives his purport. Mahaprabhu gives a more extensive, elaborate purport. And then it's reproduced again here with Sanatana Goswami. He wants to hear it. That pastime, that exchange, becomes famous. So Sanatana Goswami asks for it to be repeated, and Mahaprabhu obliges him. And then in the next chapter, chapter 25, it will happen again. This is when Mahaprabhu converts and purifies all of the residents of Varanasi, particularly Prakashanand Saraswati and his cohort of so many hundreds or thousands of sannyasis, Mayavad, Advaitin sannyasis. They become Vaishnavas. And at that time, again, the Atmaram verse is quoted to them. That's how famous Mahaprabhu's explanation of the Atmaram verse is. So, first to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, then to Sanatana Goswami, and then to Prakashanand Saraswati. There's three places where it's explained. So we'll begin that episode tomorrow. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gauda Bhakta Vrinda. Reading from Revealed Truth by Srila Bhaktisivinoda Govinda Deva Goswami Maharaj. We'll read one sub-chapter, which is a couple of minutes. This is about the devotee's attitude when chanting, primarily. How, and generally speaking, how the humility and submission, i.e. surrender, sharanagati of the devotee, is drawing the mercy of Krishna. That's the general theme. Subchapter entitled, Arising from Within the Heart. Devotee, in the scriptures, it says that we need to chant the holy name constantly to remove our offenses against the holy name. I have also heard that we should chant only a small number of times with full concentration. Can you explain something about the importance of quality and quantity in chanting? Srila Govinda Maharaj, it is hard to understand the difference between quality and quantity in chanting the holy name. We need to satisfy Krishna and his non-different form of the holy name. Chanting in a way that is satisfying to the holy name is quality chanting that will draw down the revelation of the pure holy name in our hearts. When the Lord's name is pleased with us, he will appear in his transcendental vibration form on our tongue. We cannot see Krishna's divine form, and we cannot hear Krishna's holy name. What comes from our tongue when we chant is not transcendental, because our tongue is not transcendental. But our tongue can attain a transcendental form when the Lord's divine name appears there. Quality chanting means making our tongue transcendental by attracting the divine name, the Lord's transcendental vibration form, to appear there. The Lord made a special sanction in the age of Kali. He says, I shall manifest in my transcendental vibration form in the heart of a surrendered soul who has purified consciousness. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur explained, Hridaya hai te bale jivara agrete chale shabda rupa nache anukshana. Harinam himself will forcibly move from within the clean heart of a devotee to the tip of his tongue and dance there in the form of sound vibration. The holy name needs a proper place to reveal himself. Without the atmosphere of a clean heart, a surrendered mood of prayer and devotion, the divine vibration of the holy name will not be attracted to manifest himself. But someday, like lightning, the name may appear in our heart and dance on our tongue. Excuse me. That will happen one day if we continue our meditation on the holy name. But it is not our meditation actually, it is our chanting service. Through our service mood, the holy name will appear in our heart. Service mood. Sevan mukhi jivado. Sevan mukhi jivado. Swayam. How does the verse go? Rupa Goswami's. Atha Shri Krishna Namade Nabhaved Premendriya Sevan Mukhi Jivado Swayameva Sfuratyada. So Gurudev is emphasizing in it. Sevan Mukhi, the service mood. Sometimes the name first comes to us in a mixed way. He may not reveal his fully transcendental form, but he may come and go, come and go, come and go. But finally he will stay with us. Eventually that will happen if our mood is always directed towards the service of Krishna and our Gurudev. With that mood, both what is known to you and what is unknown to you will appear in your heart. With that revelation, you will understand what is light and what is darkness. Everything depends upon our mood of chanting and mood of service. It is very good if you will think, it is my service to chant. I know neither why I am chanting, nor why I should think, nor what I should think. It is not necessary for me to know. Jai Srila Gurudev, Jai Srila Kaviraj Goswami. You gonna sing, Prabhu?
Okay. Hare Nama Krishna Jadavaya Namaha.
Hare Nama Krishna Jadavaya Namaha.
Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Gopala Govinda Ram Sriman.
Gopala Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudan. Jai.
Jai Shri Guru Karangavada Kiri Hari Joki Jai.
Jai.
Paramhamsa Paravajika Chai Vai Asasasa Shri Shri Bhakti Sutta Govinda Day Goswami Maharaj Ki
Jai.
Paramhamsa Paravajika Chai Vai Asasasa Shri Sriman Shri Bhakti Bhakti Shri Day Goswami Maharaj Ki
Jai.
Paramhamsa Paravajika Chai Vai Asasasa Shri Sriman Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Bishop Shri Gokishore Das Babiji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Bishop Shri Satchitananda Shri Bhaktivinoda Thakur Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Bishop Shri Jagannath Das Babiji Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai.
Shri Raga Ki Jai. Namaskar Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Shri Vaishnava Ki Jai. Shri Vishwanath Bhaktivinoda Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Shamananda Shri Vasaracharya Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Madhana Das Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Das Kaviraj Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Goswami Swami, Sanatana Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Shri Jiva Goswami, Gopal Bhatta Goswami, and Raghunath Das Goswami Ki Jai. Sarvashada Shri Nisananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Sarvashada Sriman Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Jai Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopanashana Kanrada Kodagiri Govardhan Gopal Ju Ki Jai. Shri Lakshmi Vivaha Devi Ki Jai. Shri Bhakti Vigna Vinashaya Shri Singhadev Ki Jai. Bhakti Prabhupada Maharaj Ki Jai. Toshi Maharani Ki Jai. Ganga Janamati Ki Jai. Quantavashi Met Bhagavatam Chaitanya Tavatamata Ki Jai. Vishavashna Vajapal Ki Jai. Akamat Vaja Sri Chaitanya Mat Ki Jai. Prabhupada Sakamat Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Sarasat Ki Jai. Vishavaya Ki Jai. Yes. Sadhya Sakamat Ki Jai. Shri Dhammayapal Ki Jai. Shri Dhammayapal Ki Jai. Vrindavan Purushottam Dham Ki Jai. Padalesi Ki Jai. Jagannathi Ki Jai. Shri Govinda Kund Ki Jai. Shri Siddhar Shri Gangadhar Ki Jai. Samaveta Vaishnava Mandala Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. All the Semra Devotees Ki Jai. Jai Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai.
Jai. Vivo.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, 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 Hare Rama, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Krishna 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 Krishna
It's Christmas jumper day.